All right, let's talk about the credit score. You know, that mysterious three-digit number that kind of feels like it holds all the power over our financial lives. It can be super complicated, stressful, and, let's be honest, can feel a little judgy. But what if I told you that most of us are looking at it completely the wrong way? Let's pull back the curtain together and really figure out what this number is actually all about.
Okay, first things first, and this is probably the most important thing to get straight right out of the gate. Your credit score is not a measure of your wealth. It has absolutely nothing to do with how much money you have in the bank, what your investments look like, or what your net worth is. Getting this is the crucial first step, because honestly, that misunderstanding is where so much of the anxiety comes from.
So, if it's not about money, then what on earth is it measuring? That's a great question. And the answer is surprisingly simple. And, you know, it's way more human than you might think.
This is where we need to completely flip our perspective. We have to stop thinking about wealth and start thinking about something else entirely, something much more fundamental. We need to start thinking about trust.
Yep, that's it. Your credit score is basically a trust score. Let me give you a real-world example. Imagine you have to lend your car to one of two friends. One friend is super wealthy, but they're constantly forgetting appointments, misplacing things, just a bit of a flake. Your other friend has a totally average job, but has never once been late returning something they've borrowed from you. So, who gets the keys? You'd give them to the reliable friend, of course. It's a no-brainer. Well, banks and lenders, they think exactly the same way.
Let's build on that idea a little bit. Just like it's not about wealth, it's also not some kind of test of your financial genius. Lenders are not trying to figure out if you're the next Warren Buffett. They really don't care if you can pick amazing stocks or if you have some brilliant business plan. They're looking for something way more boring, but to them, it's way more important. And that thing is predictability.
So what do lenders even mean when they say predictability? It's just a pattern. It's that simple. Do you pay your bills on the day they're due? Do you do it consistently? Over a long stretch of time? That's the whole game. I mean, a person who pays their $40 phone bill on time every single month without fail is seen as way more predictable and so more trustworthy than some financial wizard who, sometimes forgets to pay their credit card bill.
So we've got the rules of predictability down. Now let's dig into the why. Why do banks and lenders value this consistency so much more than anything else?
For a bank, it's all about managing risk on a massive, massive scale. See, they're not just making one loan to you, they're making thousands of loans to thousands of people. Think about it like a sports coach building a team. They don't necessarily need one superstar who might score 50 points one night and then get thrown out of the game the next. What they really need is a whole team of players who are just going to reliably run the plays and pass the ball game after game. Consistent, predictable payments from everybody, well, that's what creates a stable and profitable system for them.
Okay, so we get it now, right? We know the what and the why from the lender's side of things. So now let's talk about you. Because once you actually understand the rules of the game, you're not just a piece on the board anymore. You become a player, and you get to decide how you want to play.
This is the first, most critical step. The mission here isn't to blindly chase some perfect score. No, the mission is simply to understand how the system works. It rewards consistent, on-time payments. It rewards not maxing out all your credit cards. These are just the rules. They're not some moral judgment on you. They're just the mechanics of the game.
And right here, this is where your power really lies. Because once you know the rules, you can make a conscious choice. Do you want to play the game to get a top-tier score for a big goal, like getting the best possible mortgage rate? Awesome, now you know how to do it. Or is a good enough score all you really need to live your life comfortably? Hey, that's a perfectly valid choice too. You decide your level of engagement.
So let's bring this all home. Your credit score is not a report card on your worth as a person. It is not a measure of how successful you are or how smart you are. It's just a tool. That's it. It's a tool that lenders use to measure predictability. And the great thing about any tool is that once you understand how it works, you get to be the one to decide how to use it for your own goals. So the question isn't, what does my score mean anymore? The real question is, what do I want to do with it?